and spinning.
Oh, it says live.
Yeah, it says live.
It says live 4 seconds in.
5.
Error.
Yeah, Roman, why don't you keep counting? That'll be good. It does say we have 0 viewers, which
11,
feels right.
12.
Oh, there we go.
No, Django, do the new theme song.
The new theme song?
Do the new theme song.
17.
Yeah.
Is that the one you
Dude.
like?
Are you adding that horn?
Yeah, that's the train. That's
No,
Jeff's train
it's
whistle.
it's perfect though.
Here's-
It's perfect with it.
There's,
Shit.
there's the
Okay,
other one.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like that?
The train horn goes with everything. I need to buy one of those.
It's a perfect
Green
train
horn
horn.
is multiversal.
Oh, yeah. I thought I was hitting the
But
train
you got to
horn,
bring the
but
video in. Yeah.
actually, I thought I
Yeah.
hit the train horn. I hit pause. It's fine, guys.
It's fine. We don't
probably
have
fine.
any viewers yet. Welcome to the Comic Space Presents a Perfectly Acceptable Podcast, episode 434. Probably 434. I say we stop when we get to 500, but that's a conversation for a year from now. It's a
I say
podcast
$4.99.
about comic books. It's a video show that you are invited to about comic books. Are you... Hi. Sorry. My name's Jeff. Are you a lonely individual in your home? Are you perusing the pages of an illustrated bit of sequential fiction that brings meaning to your life? Do you want to engage with other people who feel the same as you? Well, come on down to Facebook and YouTube at 7:30 on Sunday, August 9th for a bit of a discourse about the thing that you love. However, you're encouraged to be a part of it. Over here in the comments section, you can see the litany of comments coming in from people of all ages, sexes, demographics. People want to be a part of the comic book discussion, and that's why we're here. So thank you for showing up. Today, you saved comics. And that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say, hey everybody, welcome aboard. It's Jeff, Django, and Roman. I'm Jeff.
I'm Django.
I aborted it. You guys, it's really good to see you both. It's really good to see you both. It's also really good to hear you both.
Go on. Are you making fun of the earlier problems that we had trying to get this going?
It was like an expertly placed segue, you know,
Segue.
to get a story going about the audio difficulties we were having. But now that I'm explaining it, all I can think to do is thank Andrew Carlson every week for editing this podcast for us, putting it out there. No, listen, I was talking to you, the viewer, the listener. Whatever you are, we'll table it for now. But I want to invite you to be a part of this podcast with us. You can always be a part of this podcast by tuning into the live feed and participating in the discussion that's always going on in the comments. And it's lively. Sometimes rivalries are birthed. Sometimes there are takes so hot they scorch the sky and Superman's cells are overcharged. You can also be a part of this weekly comic book discourse by sending an email to a freshly produced email address that Django built specifically for this audio video podcast experience you are contributing to. That is jeff@thecomicsplace.com. You got a question? You got a thought? You got a hot take? Send it to jeff@thecomicsplace.com and we will read it here live on the video air.
Bespoke.
The bespoke air. Django.
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you I had a contribution in the old inbox for this week specifically?
Who's it from?
Roman.
It's from me?
Roman sent it in.
Wow. I forgot I did that.
Hello and happy episode number 434. My friends. Man, what a time to be alive. We got an incredible new Spider-Man movie. Ted Lasso is back. There's other things that are here that are coming that I'm excited about. Something starts this next week. Dang it, I'm at a complete loss. But
Ted Lasso starts.
You know,
It started
the
last
world's in a
week.
weird place. It has been for a while, but also we've got some good stuff in front of us. And I just had to say, like, there's reason to be happy and excited. and feel positive about stuff. So, what's something that you guys are feeling positive and excited and happy about right now? Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
That is the audio of a man going through it. That is clearly the audio of a man who needs some cheering up. But he came to the exact right place. He, as a wanting Christmas spirit, came to the right home on Christmas Eve, singing a sad Christmas tune so that we could open the door of warmth and frivolity to him and let him know. So how can we cheer up our friend Will Elmer, you guys?
Well,
What's something we're looking forward to?
I'm going to judge his phone call.
Uh-oh.
10 out of 10.
100%. Never seen that guy below a 9.5. Never seen that guy below a 9.5.
Gosh, something looking forward, something. The Tom Waits movie by the In Bruges guy with the two FBI agents killing people.
What?
Is that something coming out?
It's coming out pretty soon.
We had a viewer, and then Django answered, and they left.
That's all
Thanks
right.
for
We
tuning
do this
in.
for the audio anyway.
Yeah. We do this for the audio crowd because that's where our thousands of listeners are.
You mean it's by the director of In Bruges?
Yeah, and it's
Oh my
Colin
God.
Farrell and the other guy
Oh my God.
with Tom Waits in it.
That's a good thing to look up right now. I love that. It is worth mentioning, Will and I, for many years, many moons, did a podcast together called The Ted Lasso Bros. 3 seasons of the series Ted Lasso. And we felt like the ending of the series was left a little ambiguously, so we decided not to finish. And turns out they then years later decided to do a 4th season. So to be determined. Get off my back. However, it is crazy that an episode of Ted Lasso has come out. I haven't watched it yet. The Bear has also come out. And I'm also working through another highly revered thing. Good God, there's a lot of good television right now. Are there other things outside of great television? Is there a good album coming out? Is Tool doing anything? No, we have to wait 13 years for those. What are we looking forward to? I want to make a baby.
All right. Wild Horse 9 is the name of the movie with Tom
Oh,
Waits.
okay, well played.
It does not have Colin Farrell. It's got Sam Rockwell and John Malkovich and Steve Buscemi, along with Tom Waits and Parker Posey. And it looks great. It's a couple of CIA guys on vacation in Easter Island, maybe banished to Easter Island.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Wow.
I'm super looking forward to that.
Okay, I'm incredibly excited about the biopic Tony that's going to be coming out about Anthony Bourdain, starring, or at least in the cast, Stavi, who's my favorite stand-up comedian of the last several years. So Stavros Halkias is going to be not playing Anthony Bourdain, but it'll be a biopic based on some of the books that Tony read and wrote, and those are books I love. I listen to the audiobook of Kitchen Confidential every couple of years because Tony himself reads it. Really didn't ever call him Tony until talking about this movie, so I'm going to get out of that. But Anthony Bourdain, now I did it. I made it go to 0. But Anthony Bourdain, Stavros Halkias, very excited about that. Roman, what are you excited about? What's juicing your nuts?
Nope. Nope. You milk nuts. You don't juice them.
Yep,
okay. Sorry.
Family friendly.
No. I think that it's mostly just the idea of putting things into a juicer that are incorrect that bothered him.
Yeah.
You don't put almond juice on your cereal.
Yeah, you're right. You put almond milk on it. Yeah, you're right.
I was going to say the same thing. The Anthony Bourdain movie. I'm excited
really?
for that. Partly because I really want to go back to Provincetown. I've been there once and ate at that restaurant just because that's where he got his start. So I insisted we went there.
Where is
good.
Provincetown? Is that over on Rhode Island or something?
No, on Cape Cod. That's the little seaside town where he got his start cooking.
I believe. Where's Cape Cod? Is that New York?
Massachusetts.
Okay, Django. We got any shops we got to hit up in Massachusetts?
I don't. Well, we might have a shop or two in Massachusetts. I've never been to Massachusetts.
Yeah. So
I've
that
hit almost
seems
every
like
state.
a state bereft of comic shops. Sounds like maybe we should start one over there.
Do you think that Will was setting us up to talk about Pacific Nerd West on August 29th as something to be excited about? Because I'm just thinking about
so.
Lanterns, which starts in like a week.
Oh, I got
Okay,
another one.
so really excited about Lanterns. Really effing excited about Pacific Nerd West. I was talking about that when Roman and I were doing our solo abortion cast. Django, you do it. You talk a little bit about it, because yes, I'm very excited about that. We're within the landing strip. We are an airplane flying above sleeping individuals approaching a runway.
Yes.
For Pacific Nerd West, and by we I mean you.
Almost a Pacific Nerd West. Bellingham's biggest Comic-Con, Bellingham's only Comic-Con. Downtown Bellingham turns into a Comic-Con.
Yeah,
transforms into a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We're still workshopping. Yeah, so we're turning downtown Bellingham into a comic convention on August 29th, and you're invited, and you're invited, and you're invited.
Oh, I'll be there. You could not keep me away from it.
So yeah, hope to see everybody there. We've got Stephanie Williams and Leah Williams and Mark Russell. We've got just tons of creators, a lot of local creators, a lot of people that we're importing. We bought strangers airplane tickets to come to this thing to hang out with people. So
that is awesome. You know what I will say about the Williams twins?
The Williams twins, sponsored by Will Elmer.
The Williams twins, sponsored by Will Elmer. Big fan of the work. Huge fan of the work. Have told them to their faces. Big fan of the work. Yeah, totally. That is awesome. Those are actually we had pretty big names last year, but we've got continuingly big names this year.
Yeah, super cool.
That's a good thing to be excited about and looking forward to. Roman, you said you had one other thing.
Have you guys started season 2 of Batman Caped Crusader?
Have not started.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's better than season 1. It's set like in the 40s, it seems like, but
okay, hearing that it's better than season 1 is a pretty strong endorsement. Okay, let's talk about Batman the Caped Crusader.
They even work in some little bit of Grant Morrison stuff.
That was a show that was talked about in development at the old comic shop when we were 221. When we were 221, wow. When we were the Camber space.
Yeah.
And the first season came out while we were in the previous space, 105 East, and now we're in 107 West.
Yeah.
And I never finished the first season, and it's crazy. I was so excited about it, and let's get into it. There was just it was as close to Batman the Animated Series as you could get, but it wasn't Kevin Conroy, and it was different. And for whatever reason, hearing that season 2 is better, I've been watching the conversation. It sounds like it's highly revered. We get Joker stuff. I want to watch it. Am I okay to jump into season 2 without having finished season 1?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Yeah, because I barely remember anything from season 1, and I just started season 2, and no problem.
Okay.
And it's cool that is it
Shazam.
Sean Gunn or is JJ? I forget which.
Sean Gunn.
But the producers are Matt Reeves and I think, is it JJ Abrams? Is he the DC guy?
No, it's the Gunn guy. But I also think that Paul Dini is involved, right? And he was the brains behind Batman the Animated
they're
Series.
all the executive producers. So pretty impressive.
So did you finish the first season? Is it the second season? Is it fantastic?
Not yet. I'm 4 episodes in.
Okay.
And the one I watched before the podcast, I was like, holy crap. But I won't ruin anything.
I've heard nothing but stellar things about the second season. Django, where are you at with it? You're also just still in that spot where you don't love cartoons.
Yeah, I'm 2 or 3 episodes in. I liked it. But they just don't grab me like real humans.
Yeah. Sadly, everybody, the very first animated Batman feature that Django ever watched was the adaptation of The Killing Joke. He's a big fan of that piece of work, so he said, finally, I'm going to give cartoons a chance. And then that one, that was a rough one.
That was a
rough one. That was when Azzarello meets Frank Miller. No. The other guy.
Alan Moore.
The other guy. Yeah. You come to us for comic discussions. Thank you so much, Will Elmer, for writing in, letting us know that you are excited and we are excited. And I'm excited to talk to Will about Ted Lasso specifically. I just need to switch my stuff around and get into Ted Lasso mode. It's crazy that they put it out at the same time as The Bear.
Oh yeah.
Because and what I said to Will is thank goodness that Ted Lasso is releasing it 1 week at a time, because The Bear did the dump, and I just don't know how to interact with that. I just don't know how to interact with it.
Yeah, I like your terminology. It's not a drop, it's a dump. Stop doing it.
Yeah, it is. It's a dump, and it's something I love and I'm excited about, but dropping it all at one time is, I feel like we learned from that 4th season of Arrested Development that you just don't do that. This is a show about comic books. That's why you are here watching us live. You are here watching us live to hear about comic discussions, and that is what I want to do. We talked about Spider-Man. It was amazing, as you would expect. I think this week, we talk about something incredible. What do you think?
I think that's the move.
Listen, I read a book this week, and I am on this spot where when Ryan North and Humberto Ramos put a new issue of this series out each week, I know that it's going to be stellar. I'm excited to read it. However, there is a density to it that oftentimes when I'm trying to scoop as many comic books into my gullet as I can, I choose we're 30 issues into this run, 40 issues in. It's not a new conversation topic. However, every time Django's like, "Did you read Fantastic Four yet?" At the time of the podcast, I'm like, "No, I haven't read it yet." And he's like, "That was a bad move." And I'm like, "You're right." So this week, the first book that I read in my stack of comics was Fantastic Four number 15, and thank goodness it was, because it was an oversized 65th anniversary spectacular, and I can't wait to see the cover and show it to everybody on the video feed. It is stellar, and the book itself was stellar. You guys, did you read Fantastic Four number 15, Ryan North's second volume, but number 15?
No, I didn't know we were going to talk about it, because usually I'm all alone. So.
That would be an exceptional bit if you went that hard into it, but I think you read it. Yeah. Roman, you read it? No spoilers? Okay.
Of course.
Dude, you guys. Marvel and DC both make it a habit when you're having a big anniversary issue. They're like, we're going to celebrate by telling a bunch of really short stories by a billion different creators. Mm-hmm. And that is a way to celebrate the history of a character and let a bunch of voices get in and kind of cast their vote on how good or not good that thing is. This time, instead of doing that, the 65th anniversary special is just one giant issue that's not even impenetrably large, but it's an oversized issue, all done by Ramos and North. But it's like a 3-chaptered story, so the entire thing deals with one adventure and or misadventure of the Fantastic Four, but divided into separate chapters that could almost be consumed on their own alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to throw out a word, and I don't want to make anybody shrivel up like we just jumped in cold water, but masterful.
That's a good word for Ryan North's writing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Just reading it is an enjoyable experience, and then as you sit down to talk about it and review it, you realize that he's put a lot of things together here, including seamless shortcuts to do a double-paged issue with Humberto Ramos, where there's an excuse for the Fantastic Four to go back and sort of review their history, and as they do, they're just using splash pages from Fantastic Four issues and then dropping little pictures of the current Fantastic Four in there, which is it's an awesome effect, but also I can only imagine saved them days and days of drawing. And then just like the the science conceits that he throws in here are always good, and this one was awesome because it's like Fantastic Four have been cast backwards in time, and
They are heading backwards in time.
Yeah, so we meet them the first time this scullery maid in the olden days meets them, and it's like the third time they've met her, right? So like they're going backwards and meeting her going backwards in time, and she's meeting them going forwards in time. It's just such a cool concept, and to have her like grow up to be a scientist in order to save the Fantastic Four in the world is such a cool idea.
We have to go into that a little bit because shout out Once and Future King, the OG novel, wherein we are introduced to Merlin as a character who is experiencing his life backwards while the other people around him are experiencing it forwards. And I remember being like 15 and being like, I don't really know what that means. And I'm going to spend the next 25 years thinking about it and trying to figure it out. But exactly, like, we are, as the community reading, the audience reading this comic book, following this woman who is growing up. And so every several pages, we do a time jump for her and we're moving through her life. But at the beginning, she encounters the Fantastic Four who have been shot backwards through time. So they have met her before, but she has not met them before. And then we follow her life, who then goes through years and years of like guessing whether or not that encounter happened and why did it happen and what is going on, until they show up again in the same spot in a weird time interval. And she's like, holy crap. And then it affects her life again in a different way and causes them to have then a third meetup. But what I loved is just a story, like a Martin Scorsese-esque story of a life, you know? And we get to have this inciting incident with these Fantastic Four and this woman and see how even just that one shaped her life at a time where she saw that like a female scientist was so powerful at a time back in time where like women weren't respected, to like have this ownership of her gender and what her destiny is and become a scientist and then ultimately become the most important thing that gets them out of it, you know, her entire lifetime later. The interesting thing that I keep thinking about with it is that, so she lives her lifetime. So from our perspective, she got to the first encounter with them and solved the problem for them. So they went elsewhere and it was safe. And in doing so, undid the rest of the timeline that would have caused them to meet her. So every time she interacted with them subsequently, it erased from their future the interaction that they had had.
Right. Which I
love time travel.
I took to mean that created a branching timeline, which is why we don't know her name.
Totally. Yeah, right? Exactly. Branching timelines, but like, then the one that we end up on is removed from those other branches. Yeah. Right? So
it's
like
hard to draw.
They had this meaningful interaction that then the Fantastic Four who survived this story won't ever remember or know what that was. So like, so much of the beauty of this issue to me is like that learning lessons, growing, and then being able to allow something to not exist or move on from something and not need to hold it close and precious to you or something. Yeah, the first chapter is incredible. The second chapter, like Django said, is like all pages, covers, and splash pages from older Fantastic Four stories where they keep the dialogue bubbles in them, but we're looking down on it. I thought that was so incredible. Cool. Roman, how did you feel about the end of the whole thing where they brought it to?
Well, I love the whole issue. I love that ending. I love that one of the big FF moments that they revisit is when Johnny faced off against the negative zone creatures and died.
Hickman.
Because they never really mentioned that anymore. The fact that he went through this amazing, horrible ordeal and died and came back. I'm flipping to the end. I love the fact with that the woman, the scullery maid, Clarina, I think. Yeah. or
The
Clarina.
scullery maid. I think we
How
can
would you
all
say
agree
that?
that's a cool several words.
I love that she the first visit it changes her life and she realizes she can be more than that, but she does it in secret. It's not unrealistic. She doesn't become a scientist or officially.
Yeah.
She still keeps her crappy servant job and does all this in secret and has this whole secret life that's amazing. And I love the ending, and I love. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but earlier in the issue, like every issue, I think, when are they going to change that? And in this issue, they change it at the end.
You're right.
Yeah.
Spoilers, a massive thing happens for the groundwork of the Ryan North Fantastic Four run, which is, in my mind, easily the best Fantastic Four run since Jonathan Hickman's, and maybe the best one ever. Craig Mueller and Ken Alberry are both watching movies with their families. That's really good.
I'm curious which Superman, the latest one?
Superman 78 playing at the theater?
I don't think he'd be watching YouTube in the theater.
Yeah, you're right. That would be inappropriate. I was just going to the bathroom and putting my phone up in the bathroom. So all that to say, I think that Fantastic Four and Ryan North's run on it is, like, currently in my mind the shining beacon for the potential of Marvel Comics and what they're able to do and how incredible they are and what the potential exists for all of these characters to be able to tell amazing stories with the tapestry that's been woven up until this point. I'm so glad he is making this comic at Marvel right now while they are moving and reprioritizing who is editor, and Stephen Wacker's about to save the day and all this stuff. But, like, it's amazing to have an issue that is, like, I don't know, 30 issues in on this run by this creative team, and it is
45 issues of Ryan North.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. 45 issues. It's one of the best Fantastic Four comics to ever exist. So to be getting to read it now weekly is amazing. It gets a Tenjamin from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. 10 from me. Easy 10s.
Almost 9.6 for me. Just because, as you know, I don't like Ramos's art.
She died, and a bunch of the pages were other people like Jack Kirby. Have you heard of Jack Kirby?
I know, which putting Ramos's little FF up there in the corner, especially over the John Byrne Dr. Doom, really points out how bad Ramos's art is.
Let me tell you about Jack Kirby. I'm gonna agree. I would say from the first issue of this run of Fantastic Four, Ramos has done his style of art, which I think all of us need to stay true to our style of art, but it just seems that he has ticked it slightly more Marvel style and a little bit less manga style. And to me, it doesn't have the problems that, like, Dan Slott's Spider-Man run had, where it was, like, grossly inaccurate anatomy.
Yep.
Like a cartoon show. And again, like, shout out for him because he's got a style, and I'm sure some people love it. And just because I don't doesn't mean that, whatever. But I do think that he has minimized the things that I don't love and maximized the things that work well for this series. But Roman, I hear you. Yeah.
But I do agree with that, actually. I mean, this issue, his art didn't bother me as much as it usually does.
Yeah, like, it's way, and I love manga and anime. And that's clearly a thing that inspires him. So, I just think this was a profoundly good issue, and I wish I had saved it to the end of my stack because it was a top 2 issue this week, and I'm going to be ambiguous about what the other one was.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. The way she solves the problem, Clarissa, whatever her name is, brilliant.
It was so good. Okay, you guys. Well, as we cruise through and continue to cruise through, I want to follow up on something that a smallish publisher did this week. It follows up on a small universe that they created a couple of weeks ago, but Bad Idea released an issue number 1 this week that kind of follows up on the heels on Dean Goliath that came out previously. However, this one had more pages to it, and I feel like the weight of it was felt a little bit stronger. But Realligator number 1, this is issue number 1. Let's get full names for the creative team in here because I want to, because the fellow's name is Mannix, and that sounds like a last name to me.
Robert Venditti?
Robert Venditti, Brockton McKinney, and Mannix Abrera. I was trying to not have to read it in cursive, but it was only cursive.
I would have thought that was the last name too because of the old TV show in the 70s.
Yeah, and he does a lot of covers, and they're listed as Mannix covers in the solicitations. So Mannix Abrera has been doing quite a few covers at Dynamite and other places as well, but prominently at Dynamite. His cartooning style is like adult, very basic comic strip cartoons. It almost is kind of like Tony Millionaire, who's done some Bad Idea comics. I think it's really charming because it doesn't look like Darwin Cook's art, but there's a quality to it that feels similar. Like it's all of the story is baked into the art, and there's heavy shading, and almost everything is contained in the art. So Robert Venditti, I'm not sure, it sounds like he probably wrote this, but I want to give a lot of credit to Mannix throughout it. But again, when we talked about Dingoliath and really enjoyed it a while back, we did several weeks ago, we did say that like it is a largely silent comic.
Yep.
And I would say the same thing about Realligator #1. It is a largely silent comic with just incredibly fun cartooning in it with newspaper cards, like newspaper stock. What's this paper stock, Django? Newsprint stock. It feels and looks like nothing else quite on the stand. And I know Bad Idea has been putting stuff out for a while. They've got Warbird that they have been printing on this same newsprint. But to me, the print stock and the art have a symbiosis in this that I thought it was really incredible. What did you guys think of this?
I thought it was fun. Quick read, unless you spend a lot of time on each panel, which is probably better. But yeah, I dug it. It sets us up for some sort of lore here. And I don't know if there's a second issue that's going to happen. I think this is a one shot. So
yeah.
But yeah, I dug it quite a bit.
Yeah, it was fun. I like that cartoony style, and it's a great title. That was my favorite thing about it, actually, is the title.
Yeah. Well, Dingoliath was the same artist and was shorter, but in this universe. But I do think they are each one shots. I do hope it continues. For me, it like scratches an Adventure Time itch.
Yep.
Like if you like
100%.
Adventure Time, there's a weird, or like the regular show, this dichotomy that can exist between pretty adult concepts and stories mixed with a kind of childish art style.
Yeah.
Totally. And I love that dichotomy. And I think this did that really, really well. So getting to see this in here, Django, exactly right. Like how much time do you spend per panel? Exactly. And like there is not so much in each of these panels to make you need to wonder if you're missing something. Like it's fun. It's like Adventure Time. But Adventure Time, for the fans of it, know that like it can be still pretty impactful and profound or adult. So yeah, I think this is like a really cool instance of like a cartoonist doing something cool. Even though it's ridiculous and over the top, to me, it scratches sort of like a modern day absurdist Godzilla itch or something.
Totally. Yeah, just a little monster universe. And shout out to the Warbird preview.
Dude,
I really like the Warbird #0 that they put out around Free Comic Book Day, but this 8-page preview or whatever is also awesome.
Like Warbird issue 0, like Django said, it's on our stands at our shop. It is Frank Quitely on cover, which is insane. But the series is going to be Alex Maleev and Assad Ribic and Dean White. Like that is such a punch you in the face, like murderer's row of creators that I cannot wait for this series. The preview is fantastic. So if you are hearing this and you have not engaged with Warbird, issue 0 is on the stands. You can get it. It's got a Frank Quitely cover. And Alex Maleev and Assad Ribic and Dean White are doing the art in the subsequent issues. So that's an incredible, insane, creative team in my mind.
Yep. I'd give Realligator an 8.5.
I'm gonna go 9.
9. Yeah.
It
I'm gonna lowball it
scratched
at a 7.
Oh.
it scratched an effing Saturday morning cartoon strip. Like somehow I came out to my family's breakfast table as a 9-year-old and opened the newspaper as a 36-year-old. Like, it was incredible for that. So I loved it. Django, take me somewhere special.
Oh, Jeff,
Somewhere special. I want it to be expensive.
I'm going to take you somewhere only I go.
Ooh, Fogo de Chao.
Roman, you didn't go to Fort Psycho, did you?
I did not. I got scared.
So this is from Oni Press, Matt Kent and Brian Hurt. The art, I think you guys would dig. The story, I'll bet Roman would like it more than Jeff.
Oh no.
Roman, this is kind of a riff on The Prisoner.
Ooh.
So we get like people who are, some sort of secret agent operatives, and when they get exiled, they go to an island and they're kind of trapped there. It's paradise, but it's not the best. And it's just a lot of really good setup. They've got like, I don't know, just a cool world that they've built here, and nice intrigue that they've got going. It looks like we're going to get a lot of the history of these guys in flashbacks. And we're going to be hanging out on the island. My guess is trying to escape the island, but that seems like a bad idea. And Jeff, it's got one of these like map pages.
Ooh, I do like those. And Matt Kent does those, like Grass
Yeah.
Kings. Like, I do love his map pages.
I like when I say Roman's going to like it more than you, it's not to say that you're not going to like it. I think you should read it. I think it's really good. It's just to say that Roman gets really weirdly excited about The Prisoner.
Turgid.
Prisoner, one of the best shows that ever existed.
See,
Yeah.
just there, right there. He did it.
Yeah.
He did it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be, what is this, 12 issues maybe?
Holy crap, that is a long Matt Kent series.
I can't remember because they solicited like some special pre-order bundle thing, and it was longer than I thought it was going to be. But just based on this first issue, I'm going to subscribe and stick with it. And I think I think both of you would dig this.
Okay.
What do you give it?
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5.
That's good.
It's a
Sweet.
solid book.
Matt Kent has the ability at any moment to put a book out that I will give a 10. So like he just puts he's almost got like a Cullen Bunn vibe to him, where like he can put a lot of books out and they can be in pretty varied tones.
Right.
And some of those are my favorite comics that exist. So all right, cool. Fort Psycho. I'll check it out.
Look at that cover though.
It's really good. Who
It's
did
a
the
really
cover?
good cover. I think it's Brian Hurt.
Okay. I do like when a cover is done by the interior artist. That's good.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Where are you guys going to drive us now?
Hey Roman, you want to talk for a quick second with me?
Sure, of course, always.
Amazing Spider-Man. We both went and saw Spider-Man Brand New Day. What did that do? What did that do in the couple days after your life? What did that do to you? Did you do anything different as a result of having seen that movie?
I reevaluated my entire life and thought, wow, things are pretty good. No,
Yeah, that's a good stance.
I thought about going to see it again, and I'm going to, but I didn't do it right away because it was like, no, it's too fresh. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it a second time yet, but I'm planning to.
Well, I did see it a second time. I love that movie. It is crazy for Spider-Man to be a character that, like, if I were to have to say top two, my two favorite comic book characters are Batman and Spider-Man.
Yep.
And if I was only allowed to carry one with me for the rest of my life, I think it would be Spider-Man. But the crazy thing about that is that I think that there are significantly fewer great Spider-Man stories than there are Batman stories. But the Spider-Man stories that are existing that have impacted me, and what I love about that character is so deeply resonant with me that I just can't like disregard how much I love him. So following that movie, like I put Spider-Man Blue at the top of my stack to read again, which is exactly what I did when I saw Spider-Man No Way Home. I reread Spider-Man Blue and a couple other Spider-Man comics because, again, I think that that character has made an impact that is larger than the comic runs that are worth reading warrant. I mean, I think like the Spider-Man cartoon show from the 90s is maybe one of the things that made me love him the most. But when I finished that movie the second time, I had to go home and reinstall Spider-Man, the first Insomniac game, because what was so cool about Spider-Man Brand New Day was that like the first 20 minutes of that movie was very clearly an intentional love letter to those games that have appealed to an entire new generation of Spider-Man fans and gave us something to love about Spider-Man that isn't necessarily specifically just the comics, but like the physics of moving around a city. You're rewarded for doing things like swinging up really high and then pressing a button to dive down and gain momentum and then swing out of it, which he does in the movie. You have these like car chase things you have to stop that are exactly the tanks that they stop in the movie. So I have been playing the very first Spider-Man PlayStation game again, the PlayStation 4 one, so the Insomniac game. They released a PS5 upgrade of it. I feel like everyone should check it out because if you haven't played that game, it's amazing. And in like 4 weeks from now, we're getting the Insomniac Wolverine game. So they've released 3 Spider-Man games, and now they're branching out to do a Wolverine one. It's been in production for quite a while, so I'm very excited about that. But Spider-Man's just been on the top of my mind. Like, he is a character that, while Batman is my other favorite, I identify with Spider-Man way more heavily, and I always want to be on board for whatever comic book is coming out with Spider-Man, which is why I was probably one of the few Zeb Wells apologists of that run. But we've had Joe Kelly on it for 34, 38 issues or so. He did like a little preview before the renumbering. I have not loved all of this run. I have enjoyed very much some of it, but it has been laden with editorial events factoring into the numbering and tie-ins and him being gone in space. But he's been back for a little bit, and I think the most recent time that we checked in about him was when he had that serious conversation with Aunt May about the baby that she had that she didn't think she had. So anyway, all of that is Joe Kelly's Spider-Man run. Issue 34 came out this week. It is largely a battle with Electro, and what is cool about the framing of this singular issue is that he's fighting Electro throughout it, and the nature of his powers means that they override neurons with electricity, which is how they fire. So he's forced to have these memories, whether he wants them or not, when he gets hit by these electric balls. And I just thought it was a really interestingly plotted issue with the way that it balanced the fight with Electro with these key moments following up on the conversations and story beats that he's having with Aunt May. What did you think?
Yeah, I really like that too. I mean, I love the beginning with Electro because I love Electro. He's one of the classic Spidey villains, and I love it when they have him in his original, Steve Ditko design.
Yeah, I mean, like
goofy
Django
ass costume with the stupid face mask.
If 1 to 10 me, if Electro is 1.
Like if 1 is Electro?
Yeah.
What's the best costume?
It's the best costume. It's the best. It's so good.
Yeah. 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that they, because Max Dillon's kind of a dope. He never, because this issue, I mean, it shows how, he commands electricity. He should be maybe up there almost with Magneto class power levels, but he never really employs that. I assume because Max Dillon's not very bright.
Well, he's got this great costume. He doesn't need to keep working. He's like, I made this. What more do I have?
I lost my train of thought. Sorry,
that was me. That's on me.
It was funny in this because in this I'm totally curious now because of Brand New Day, because of the movie, where Damage Control are bad guys, secret bad guys, maybe not so secret anymore. But in the comic, Spidey's palling around making buddies with this guy who is he the director of Damage Control? I forget. But now I'm like doubting him and wondering, are they bad guys in here too? Secretly? Yep. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think the comics and the movies don't talk to each other until the movie comes out. So they probably said, oh yeah, Damage Control is in the movie. And then didn't tell them that Damage Control was going to have kind of a villainous role.
I agree with both of you. Those were both my thoughts throughout it. Yeah. Like, I am suspicious of them, but I was also like, I feel like they're probably just in here because of the movie. But Roman, I totally agree. Like, he's talking to him in here. He's working with them. That's the downside of the movie and comic connection. I would prefer if they have kind of holistically different universes that we're orbiting around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in this one, we're dealing with, like, I don't even want to say necessarily fallout, but like the byproduct of the time that he spent away in space. So like they gave us a bunch of comics. He made a bunch of friends. And now we're reintegrating Spider-Man back into the stories that we know. Aunt May, you know, being in New York, balancing all that. But we also have this kind of large cast of characters that has been added to the comic universe. And I thought that this issue threaded the needle pretty well of being honoring what we know and are familiar with about Spider-Man, but also continuing to introduce these characters that they are. Joe Kelly, creator of Ben 10, Joe Kelly, not Joe Casey. I always get it confused. They are honoring that story, putting it in here, but also not like detracting from it. I think any complaints that I have about this Spider-Man run are primarily just like an editorial complaint of, can you please stop having this tie into things? Like, can this just be a thing? Like, can you let a person tell one story and continue with it? But Ed McGuinness on art in this is phenomenal. And I think the main thing that we're left with in this issue is just, we've got Aunt May and Ben Parker had a baby that they thought died, and it was switched at birth. And now it's back. And that's huge.
Dude, the best part about Spider-Man is that it's just a daytime soap opera.
No, and that's why I'm here for it.
With spider powers.
And so you're like, yeah, I want to be happy for Aunt May that she's got her baby that's a grown man now. Also, I'm going to hang out on a faraway building with Peter, who's sad, looking in through the window, and also be curious if this son that shows up is as good as everyone keeps saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love how they're
Tommy, hell yeah,
doing this with, you know, like the last page of this last panel showing how this is affecting Peter and tied in with being gone in space and coming back and trying to get his life back together. But now he feels like, well, I'm losing my mom, my second mom, but the only one he's ever really remembered. But it's not.
I wonder if my mom loves my new brother more than me. Is what Tommy the Mad Prophet said, and he's exactly on. That is it distilled to a moment.
Yeah, but I love how they're doing that. They're building it up. It's not this huge melodramatic, like, oh, my mother, she's gone.
Yeah.
You know, he's just quietly trying to repress it all and being sad.
Yeah, you almost like don't need to say it because we get it, right? Like, no, he's it's gonna be good. It's all chill. But also, I would be weirdly bummed and insecure about my place with the relationship with the woman that raised me. Yeah,
of course. And that's why Peter Parker. You know, you were saying Batman and Spider-Man. Yeah, we can all relate to Peter Parker. I mean, very few of us can relate to, you know, billionaire Bruce Wayne that looks like, I don't know, George Clooney or something. And
I almost just texted a response to Tommy, and instead I'm going to say it to him, which is, I desperately want him to be who he is at face value. I don't need him to be a secret villain. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, please Joe, Kelly, don't make him a villain. I think that you could even make him a normal person that has villainous tendencies, or just like the normal range of human villain tendencies, like greed or selfishness or something. But we don't need him to be a villain. Like, Aunt May has been through enough. She's been dead. She's been married. She's been alive. She's been married again. She's got love. She knows her. Yeah, she knows her raised son is Spider-Man. She doesn't know her raised son is Spider-Man. Like, come on, like, let the woman have some joy.
Yeah, we don't like. We almost never get somebody who's just like a normal butthead in comics, right? Like somebody who doesn't show up to meetings because they don't respect your time, rather than because they're superheroes, or somebody who borrows $20 and never pays it back.
I wonder if
they always have to like turn it up to 11.
I'll get you that $20 back. I mean it.
No, you
won't. Yeah, Django, get off his back. You've been hounding him for that for like a decade. No, Django, that's a good point. I wonder if like people don't feel like the subtlety of that dickishness can be conveyed through pages and text, right? Like we put that in TV shows and movies because you can pick that up from a person, but like, is it harder to convey? But I agree. Like we don't get that a ton. Human. Yeah, just like I bet we would all be able to be like, yeah, that guy sucks, and we know it's a guy. Yeah.
And for some reason, you're still friends with him. Because high school, or
because he's your business partner or whatever.
Yeah,
he's your business partner. Wait, Roman. He's the guy I run this with. Roman, I give this the best nothing score I can give it, which is an 8.5. I think this is fantastic. It didn't like punch me in the face. It just reminded me this is a very good comic. The art by Ed McGuinness was beautiful. Electro, the fight was gorgeous. I'm interested in the characters. It didn't like make me be like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next issue, but I will certainly read it pretty excitedly the next time.
Oh yeah, I'll give it it got the great moment when Peter tries to cook. I'll give it an 8.
Now you're cooking with Peter.
I love that cover with the logo and the electricity there.
We gotta have a wheat cake special. I think we should have a mounted camera in a kitchen. And the three of us should make wheat cakes, but none of us should look into what that process entails at all beforehand. We just need to make sure we have the ingredients. But I don't know what wheat cakes are. I do not know if they're different than pancakes. He talks about them all the time.
Yeah.
I think we have to make some wheat cakes.
I've always been curious about that. Yeah, is it just like you make like pancakes except you use wheat instead of like ground wheat instead of
none of us?
No research, Roman.
None of us are going to research. Exactly.
We can't even research with each other. This could be a very special episode of the cooking show I've been pitching forever called Cooking Rules.
Yeah, so Django
you just cook and there's a rule like the floor is lava. You got to do it from the counter the whole time. Or
it is worth mentioning that the reason Django and I worked together in a comic shop is that he was in a comic shop one day that I was working at, and he pitched that idea to me.
Did I really?
And I have been dancing around it anxiously and excitedly for years, but nothing is more important to me. Like, that's the great 15-year unfinished loop. So if we could finally do that, and I could finally just go on my way, I just want to make a cooking show with you that takes off so we can live our lives in a kitchen together.
Cooking Rules with Jeff and Django.
Yeah, I mean,
wheat cakes, no recipe.
Yeah, wheat cakes. Special guest Roman. All right, take me somewhere special while I think about Aunt May fighting Galactus.
I think we should go check in with. I think we should talk about Batman number 12.
Yeah.
And I know our tradition is to save Batman for the very end. But it would have felt selfish if you put me in charge and I chose Supergirl again.
Issue, man.
So this is the issue that introduces Verity Pennyworth, who is Alfred Pennyworth's niece. I didn't even know he had a brother or a sister.
I didn't.
So we're gonna learn some stuff.
I have a question.
Go on.
This issue reminded me. Whatever happened to Alfred's? Didn't he have a daughter that showed up like a
You
bunch
guys
of years
talk
ago.
about it. I'll figure that out. You guys
I
talk.
don't actually remember, Roman. Like other than her appearing, this is just another kind of awesome issue of this Matt Fraction Batman. Like it feels like he's doing a lot of world building and giving us sort of okay. You know how sometimes we have to assign a director to these things? Who's the guy that directed those Sherlock Holmes movies? And then a bunch of bad stuff.
Guy Ritchie.
I think these comics are directed by Guy Ritchie in his prime. Because you'll get somebody saying something and then you'll flash to Batman jumping out of an airplane or whatever, or Spider Black jumping out of an airplane. It's just like quick movements, pauses to give you information about the devices or the gadgets that are being used, action happening off screen, and you just see the results of it. That's who's directing this in my brain, and I love it. I love every minute of it.
Okay, I was gonna say, are you praising or punishing?
Praising. I think Guy Ritchie has some of the best moments of directing that exist, and also has made a handful of very paint by number movies at this point. But his older stuff, I think, was like genre changing.
All right, I'm gonna wave my increasingly voluminous belly all over you guys for just a second.
Yeah.
Key details. Yes, Alfred Pennyworth does have a daughter named Julia Pennyworth who has shown up in Batman stories. Her first appearance originally debuted in 1981, pre-crisis, as Julia Remarque, the daughter of Alfred and French assistant fighter Mademoiselle Marie. In modern continuity, she was reintroduced in the New 52 during the Batman Eternal weekly comic series, which we all know is impossibly hard to create as a bundle. And where Batman finds her in Hong Kong and brings her to Wayne Manor. She has acted as a military intelligence operative and assisted the Bat family as a mission control coordinator under the code name Penny 2. To me, that sounds like a failed attempt at trying to get a character introduced, right? Yeah. 81, modern. So, yes, Roman, you're 100%
so whatever
correct.
Happened to her?
Yes, great question. You should ask Mac Fraction.
Because when Verity showed up, I was like, well, what about his daughter?
I had the same thought. I was like, is this the person that like sounds familiar to me?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
This is a new person, and I think that she is executed way better with way more intention. I would say in one and a couple pages issues that we've seen her, even just like the way that Fraction has written her and Jorge Jimenez has drawn her, you're getting non-verbal character moments that convey a part of her personality and character that is really important. That like, I think comics can suffer from feeling like character doesn't make an impact unless there's dialogue or story. And her presence alone like makes her known in this issue. On the Guy Ritchie note of all of it, you know, it's interesting, Django. In this issue, I would say there is some references to a smaller known Batman comic from the past that Frank Miller did called Dark Knight Returns. And Matt Fraction's been doing the like TV broadcast thing with text bubbles above it that are divided in a weird way.
Huh.
In
here?
Yeah, man. Like, like page 5 or something. There's like double page television broadcasts, but like you have to read those in a right order. Like it is not a horizontal row and then a visual row beneath it. Right. And I will say that the very first time that I tried to read Dark Knight Returns 20 years ago, like my brain couldn't understand how to mesh those things together.
Yeah. But it's a modern version of that.
And like, and it is a modern version of that, but it is also like, you have to understand that language, right? Yeah. Like these bubbles above it, this text above it is relative to the image below it, which I think we all know that like comics read horizontally. Right. Anyway, so like I messed that up.
Panels.
Yeah, exactly. I messed that up like my first go on this issue, which I kind of loved because I was like, "Oh, Dark Knight Returns, right? Of course, we got to read this way." So love that Frank Millerism. But yeah, I really like this new Pennyworth character. I think that she is written with the appropriate weight. You know, I think that Roman, just from the quick second of reviewing the previous incarnations of a Pennyworth daughter, I don't feel like they ever gave her the weight. You know, like
No.
her motion and her words and her gestures didn't mean what they should. And in this issue alone, you know, her silence and her facial, you know, gestures that are drawn in here have a lot of volume to them. So I just felt like there was a weight to this character that has not existed for a Pennyworth progeny up until this point. And it made me not question it, and it made me trust and respect it kind of immediately within one issue. And I also thought he did a pretty fantastic thing by being like, Batman was like, I didn't know this person existed. And he's like, yeah, well, I died. Did you listen to my will? And he's like, no, I didn't really want to think about you being dead. And he's like, cool. Well, I told you about all of this, which is like perfect comic book retconning. That is like
also,
perfect. Like it was there. You just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Alfred. Don't come at me like that.
Whoa. Are you bruising at me right now? Because I'm dead.
Yeah,
I'm dead, and I wrote this for you, asshole.
I'm saying I am I can't say I'm on team Bruce here.
Yeah,
but
sounds like you are, though.
I can see myself in Bruce's shoes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were such a coward, Batman.
I'm curious why she's always blushing like an anime character. Maybe it's her makeup, but she's always got the lines and the red.
Well, she's young.
Because her characterization is Alfred, except with cute anime touches.
Sure. Yeah. I hope she doesn't turn out to be a bad guy. But
no.
Bad guy robot.
I think
Tommy. Do you think Bruce scanned her?
What?
Do you think he scanned her to see if she's a robot?
I gotta go to Tommy here. Tommy the Mad Prophet. I'm excited to see how she creates another level of Batman continuity. She absolutely will. So Kawhi, I hope he didn't say she absolutely will by being a bad guy.
No, I think she's
in the same way that I don't want this kid from, you know, that Aunt May gave birth to be a bad guy. I don't want this lady to be a bad guy. We need some Alfred progeny to persist.
So we got a score?
Yeah, it was my second favorite book of the week. I really liked it. Roman?
9.5? 10?
I was just gonna say, well, her name Verity, isn't that a derived from veritas, which means truth?
Right.
Right.
We were all on that page.
My Latin is bad.
I majored in it.
His Latin is bad. Yeah.
I give this a freak. Oh man. This was so good. This was so good.
Listen to him work himself up to a gooey duck.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I've got two 10s this week, and this is one of them.
Bang. It's another.
That's the sound of a gooey duck on my forehead.
Woof.
Woomfing and woomfing and woomfing at me.
Ew.
I'm gonna go 9.5. Like,
Brody.
I think Matt Fraction is spinning a slow boil Batman yarn that is incredible. We're 12 issues in. It does not feel like any issue has prematurely tried to set the standard for what this run is, or like, here are the events that are happening in it. Like, it has allowed itself to approach this story in a slow boil, long form way. And I think that is what modern comics are lacking for the most part. So I really love that. It is letting the great parts build and happen when they're going to come. I don't need them to come immediately on my face now. I think the like little Joker bits of him getting fat in a jar are awesome. And then you've got Jorge Jimenez drawing all of it. Like, it's incredible. I think it's a 9.5. I would probably give it a 10 if I didn't think that Fantastic Four was just a little bit better.
I'm going to also give it a 9.5. And my jury is still out on Jar Floater Joker.
You don't like jar floats?
I don't know.
Man,
Jar
if he
floater-
squats for even a second,
no.
I'm out.
Oh no!
I'm out. If that guy starts
Delisted.
jar squatting,
It's not
I'm out.
demonetized. We're just delisted now.
Yeah, just delisted jar squatting Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the resolution to that Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Django, you got 60 seconds. It's short. Go.
Holy moly! I read
Buckets of
Dead
Bats.
Man. Buckets of Bats. I read Dead Man. This book, the thing that stood out to me about Dead Man #3 by Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo is that they took our characters to hell and gave us a rib cage that is also an infinity symbol, like a handful of infinity symbols. And that is usually like a Mobius strip is usually something that makes me bounce off of a comic pretty hard. And of course, if anybody can pull that off, it's these guys. It's not mixed media, but each level of hell has a very different art style, from like woodcuts to tiny panels to like Mother Goose stuff. There's an amazing panel where Dead Man is punching in 4 directions at once, and it is radical. I also read 100 Bullets #2, The U.S. of Anger. I don't know what's going on in this book, other than exactly what's going on in this book. It's a condemnation of white power podcast media.
Oh no.
And it's really good. I also read Major Arcana #17. That book is still going and still going strong. And then
all right, full disclosure. Full disclosure.
Yeah.
I paused your time while you were talking about your second book because I wanted to hear about 100 Bullets.
Yeah.
And then if I hadn't, I would have prevented you from saying Major Arcana, which is definitely not the title of that book. And so
did I say Major Arcana?
I almost feel like
what is Minor Arcana?
I just should have not tried to interfere with God's will, which is what I do every day. I try to alter God's will, and I just need to fucking learn. 100 Bullets. I was out of town. I actually was in Michigan when the first issue of this reboot came out, and I went to a comic shop. Oh no. Lights in the Attic? What is that Michigan chain? Vault at Midnight?
Vault of Midnight?
A Michigan chain of comic stores that is incredible. And if you're listening or watching to this and you are at all close to Michigan, you should go to Vault of Midnight, which is a 3-store chain across Michigan that is an incredible comic experience. So go to it. But while I was there, I did buy the first issue of this series. I have not read it yet, so I was excited to hear about it. And then what you just pitched as the idea of it makes me even more interested in it.
Yeah. It's
so how's Major Arcana going?
It's not. It's actually Minor Arcana, Jeffrey.
It's a little smaller, bud.
I'm glad that Jeff Lemire's back drawing some of it. He's drawing stuff in kind of the liminal space, and that's exactly what I am in. I like his writing. I love his art. It hasn't even really been a fill-in. It's just been somebody else drawing a lot of the stuff in the real world.
Okay.
Because they're like it's a girl who goes back to her hometown, and her mom is a tarot reader, and she ends up like going into another universe, or like into the tarot world or something. It's not really clear. It is Letizia Cadonisi.
Okay.
And her art is good. It's even a little bit bit Jeff Lemire. Like it's on brand, but there's just something about the Jeff Lemire art that tickles me in a way that nobody else's kind of weird, kind of grotesque art does. Like he does something really special with weird art.
I feel like anytime Jeff Lemire writes something that he doesn't do the art, then it's missing something. People should be able to write and have artistic duties separately, but he specifically writes from a point of view that I think is elevated by having his art style added to it as well. Minor Arcana I have not read since the end of the first trade, but I was loving it. Still
good.
Played.
It really feels like kind of like an extra model in Jeff book to me. In a way that some of his other stuff doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love his work. Roman, go.
Oh my God. Sorry, I was looking at Minor Arcana.
I bet you were.
I read Jeff. I read Jughead, Pymageddon one shot by Tom King. It was fun. It was fine. Tom King, I mean, Jughead centric, so that's always good because he's the best Archie character. Read What If Captain America was revived in 2099. This was a fun, old-fashioned superhero Marvel book, which of course it has all sorts of great Cap moments. And the whole point of this story was obviously at the end he makes a huge speech to everybody in America just to elect a government that actually is for the people and not beholden to corporate interest or just one man. And it's just all another great middle finger to Trump comic. I also read Dead Man, which was my other 10 of the week. I don't have much to add to what Django said. It's an amazing issue, even more so than the previous issue, which had Plastic Man. This one's got Lucifer Morningstar.
Lucy. Roman,
Lucy.
Can I get a high five for the Jughead Pymageddon page that has Tom King's 12-year-old's favorite jokes from Jughead?
Yeah,
it's like a list of 10 gags, and they're all reviewed by a kid. It's one of really the cutest things. Yeah, it's like number 10, Bell Nell, Jughead's jokes, number 65, 1979. This is a funny gag with a gratifying ending when Reggie gets his comeuppance. So
Django,
you got to go read them all.
Hey Django.
Yeah.
Can I tell you about a little journey that I went on in the last 45 seconds I think you'll enjoy?
Yeah. Do you need me to set a timer for it or not?
No.
Okay.
So at 8:47, 2 minutes ago, right as Django or Roman was doing his thing, Mad Prophet Tommy said, Jeff Lemire, Jeff Darrow, is it just people named Jeff? And I typed burn them down. And when I typed burn them down, that comment got rejected by YouTube.
Oh.
YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing a bit. However, Facebook did post burn them down. So then the next thing I wrote is the Jeff brand is questionable. The Jeff brand is questionable at best, but I was in a hurry, so I made a spelling error. However, the Jeff brand is questionable at best did get honored by both Netflix, Facebook, and YouTube, all three of them. So I think that you like watching me squirm. So welcome to my world of squirm.
It's pretty good. If you had to squirm for 1 minute and 30 seconds, Jeff.
Oh, I get extra time. I like that.
Are we doing a minute? Are we doing 60 seconds?
Both of you just did a minute. It was an abbreviated.
You got 1 minute. I thought it was short. You got 60 seconds.
Absolute Superman number 22 was fantastic. We had Juan Ferreira doing the fill-in art on here. If you wanted my opinion, put Juan Ferreira on the art for this book. Rafa Sandoval has done a fantastic job, but anytime there's a Brainiac story, Juan Ferreira has done the art in it, and I'm here for it, and I love it. I also read the facsimile edition of Pinhead #1 that came out this week. I believe it was put out from Boom Comics because Boom Comics is going to be putting out a Pinhead, whatever that series is, miniseries. I love that series. I liked it before I realized that Berserk was highly influenced artistically by the artistic design in Pinhead. So, Berserk, love you, all of that. I also read Chachi. Image Comics this week, Iman Valene and Mariana Ignazi. This was an interesting little crime story that I assumed I'd be reading and talking about on this podcast with you guys, where Roman and Django would like it more than me.
How much did you like it?
7.5. 7.5.
Yeah, I liked it an 8.
Yeah, I didn't dislike it at all. In fact, I enjoyed the art.
Yep.
My main complaint would be that there is 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 pages of story at the end that almost looks like... Okay, let me get into it.
Yeah.
We're in a beautiful spot with comics right now, where independent comics are not interrupting pages with advertisements. So Image Comics Boom, a lot of these comics are not taking these 22-page stories and throwing a full-page advertisement into the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. The byproduct of that is that we are oftentimes getting a full page, like a full couple page preview at the end of a story. Or in the case of Image, sometimes 3 or 4 pages of ads at the end of a story.
Mm-hmm.
That is fine. I so much prefer it to throwing interrupting pages into the story while I'm reading it.
Yeah.
However, in this situation, for the book Chachu by Image Comics with Iman Vellani writing it, it meant that there was a 4-page kind of suffix story at the end. And when I thought I finished the story, I was like, I don't know if this is preview pages or stories for another book or if this is part of this story. So I read them, and they were very clearly rooted in the story that I had just read. So Image Comics did the right thing. There are no advertisements in this comic. Thank you. That is awesome. However, we are working across or against a bias where comics are oftentimes putting advertisements in pages. If it's DC, you're going to read a comic and then you might have like 4, you might even have like 10 pages of 2 separate preview comics in the back.
Yeah.
And that's confusing. So my only complaint about this is just as a reader going into this, wanting to engage in the story with no ads, thank you. It was really ambiguous when they had this very clear final page of like a head and a silhouette and a bunch of text bubbles. And then the next page was like the previous night. And like a very artistic change. It just felt like not a complaint about this comic, but more a complaint about our industry right now, which is that like I feel like we need to do something to clarify when we're dividing previews or story continuations. That's where I'm going.
I'm going to push back a little bit in that the very first word balloon on that page is the name of the character that they've been talking about for the whole issue.
Yeah.
So they say if it isn't Mrs. Cleo Chandler, like they've said Cleo a handful of times in here. She's the lady that drove away in the beginning.
Wait. On the first page they say that?
No, on the first page of like the previous night, the first word balloon after that is Mrs. Cleo Chandler. So it gives you a pretty good thing. If like I wasn't confused by it, I would have missed that Cleo because I'm with comic names.
But, a cool thing for us to probably get on the front, like the top of the desk, 11 years into a working relationship. I see faces. I don't really know names. I don't. You know what? You say Cleo Chandler to me, and I'm like, I don't even know that name. I don't even know that name, having read the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess I wasn't confused by it. She's wearing the same outfit she was in the beginning, but I agree. I get confused by like codas, and sometimes even in Marvel books they'll be after the letters page or whatever, and I don't love that.
No,
but I think the rest of the book was pretty awesome. I liked the setup. I thought some of the art, like there was the part where she's like shit, and she's trying to back up.
And like, listen, the time ran out when I was finishing that thought. That's my only complaint. That's my only complaint. So my score for this book is akin to, I want to say 8.5. I think that I enjoyed this on the level that I enjoy a quality comic. I think I want to give it an 8. I'm sorry, Django. I'm throwing my elbow up. I think I want to give it an 8 based on how that last preview thing was done. And to me, it is not even necessarily how the final page was introduced, like that previous night. Is it Ms. Cleo Chandler? To me, it is more how the final page of the previous bit was introduced, which is
because they're riding off into the sunset, basically,
with a silhouette with more text bubbles than have been on any pages, probably, maybe. Anyway, it just felt like like I consciously had to assess, is this the final page? Is it not? And what I will say is that it did not suffer the DC Comics thing where like I turned a page and I was halfway through reading a preview. No.
Oh, this is Static
Well,
Shock?
Yeah, while starting that page, I was guessing, is this or is this not?
Right.
Which is the best case scenario.
Yeah.
But it did still make me wonder what the fuck was going on.
Okay, so what about the rest of it, though? Everything before the last 3 pages. What'd you think?
No. I think it was good. I think it was a good comic. My main complaint is that, like, to me, this is a book that Django and Roman would like more than me. This is like a crime drama. However, it was doled out in a very personal way. We were spending time with this female protagonist who we were with the entire time. She ran into a car. She was going to this place. I didn't know what the word chachu mean. Oh, now I learned what this is. It's like within the culture. This is what an uncle is. Like all of this. I thought that was done very well, which is why I would give it an 8.5 whole on. I think
that last bit.
I think the art was great. Like, it is not a genre that I love. Full disclosure. Just like full on kind of crime mystery. Not my favorite thing. But I think this was as well done as any of those are. However, that last couple of pages, it's almost like, am I complaining at Image because, like, for the first time you didn't have a single ad in your comic? No, that would be insane to complain about. I'm certainly not complaining about that. But, like...
Did that catch you too, Roman?
It didn't confuse me, but sorry, Tommy, I did think it was... I thought it was awkward because it should have ended on the writing the silhouette headshot and writing into the sunset, and then there was this awkward the night before scenario. And I was like,
that just feels like a final page. It feels like a final page.
Okay, but can we talk about the 2 pages before that?
Yeah,
where she breaks down to her uncle all of the stuff that she's observed and all of the things that she thinks are happening. And then he's like, oh, you're done talking? Well, yeah, you're right about that. You're wrong about this. You're kind of right about that. Like, I really like that because, you know, like it sets this protagonist up to be very, very smart and like almost impossibly observant. And then it just kind of brings her back to earth. And he's like, yeah, good job, kid, but you're kind of wrong about a lot of this stuff. And I thought that was some of the strongest writing in the whole thing. And when I turned the page to see that, because it's just 2 pages of very similar panels, I was like, oh, I don't want to read all this. And then as I read
the same
I was like,
thought.
Oh, this is awesome.
And I agree. Yeah, no, I had the same thought. And then by the end of those 2 pages, I was totally on board. And then when I got to the final page, it felt like a reward. You know, like two dense pages of 4x4, 16 panels, and then this was a reward, which seemed like the end. But I'm gonna put most of my criticism on my relationship with this genre, and not on this story. I do think, you know, like if I want to be more critical than I usually am, I would say that as an editor, the previous night thing, this 4 pages, you should have put that in the story somewhere so that the story ended on this gorgeous final page. That's what I would say.
You only docked it half a point for that.
I did. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yeah. So 8 out of 10. Tommy, get on the podcast. Tommy, next weekend, are you free? Let's get you in here for this discussion.
I'm going to give it an 8.5. I wasn't bothered by that. I thought that sequence with the 2 in the car, the car wreck sequence was awesome. And
that was well done because it introduced a character that you didn't know, and then it tied you back to making a connection.
Yeah.
And that was well done.
Yeah. And then like that flashback at the end is the rest of that lady's story. Like she gets to Vegas. And then the other sequence that I really liked was her going to bed and falling asleep and waking up to a gun in her face, and where they bring her down into the living room. And I thought that was a really well done 9-panel grid in there. So like a comic that has 3 or 4 sequences that impress me with the storytelling is pretty good. It was a little bit wordy, but I liked it quite a bit. So 8.5 from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that my only complaints with it are just like my lack of comfort in the
It's
genre.
Okay to not like the execution of a thing. Like that's
and like no, even you saying like and her waking up with a gun in her face, I'm like, where the fuck did that happen?
Yeah.
I think it is more like feeling off kilter in a type of story that like I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah, you guys,
Roman
we're
needs a
late.
score.
We're late though.
Score it, Roman, so we can go. I gotta pee.
7.5. I do too.
I got pork chops waiting for me.
Oh, jeepers.
7.5, 8, and 8.5. That's a good Chachu range.
Take us home. Everybody else read Supergirl Survive.
Everybody needs to read Supergirl Survive. So that is one of a couple DC Elseworld stories that has cropped up. The first one that they put out wasn't super highly revered, and then the second one was Supergirl Survive. I hadn't even looked at it. I was out of town at the time. Django was like, you should read this issue. Take issue number 1 home. I did take it home. The art is gorgeous. The art is gorgeous in all 3 issues of Supergirl Survive. I'm very excited to read it. I read issue number 1, 2, and 3. 3 came out this week. So Supergirl Survive is on everybody's radar. Also, just the DC Elseworld bit of continuity is on everybody's radar. Cool. We've all agreed on that. That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about comics, and we're also here to stop talking about comics. It's 9:04. All of us have something we have to do. I'm really excited to have this experience again with you guys. Exactly. You can contribute to this podcast by sending an email to jeff@thecomicsplace.com. That is an email address that Django built several months ago that gets your email specifically to the podcast. We want to hear from you. He built that recently for you.
For you.
I check it every day for you. So send that email to jeff@thepodcast.com. Did the way that I just said for you make you feel like intimidated, like there's pressure about it? No. I want you to diarrhea word. I want you to diarrhea word in an email to me and let me try and figure out what you meant. That's what I want. I like that kind of stuff.
I'll apply the pressure. Send it.
Into foul play. So send an email to jeff@thecomicsplace.com. I'm here for it. In the meantime, you can watch any of our episodes on the Comics Place YouTube feed. We have that. You can just look up the Comics Place on YouTube, and all these are here. You're not watching them live, but they're there. Also, we've been doing this for 434 episodes. That's insane. If you're ever wondering while you're watching us, like, why are they like this? It's because we hit our peak like 100 episodes ago.
A decade of doing and a little experimentation.
If you work hard, you can get to the episode that we were recording when we found out that Trump won the election. When Trump
first time.
When Trump won his first fucking election, we started that podcast being like, "Oh, it's cool. Hillary's got this." And then you can hear the moment halfway through it where we realized what was happening. So like this has been going on for a long time, and we want you to be a part of it. We are at the Comics Place in Bellingham, Washington. If you are listening or watching this and you don't have a local comic shop, shoot us a line at jeff@thecomicsplace.com. We will tell you the closest comic shop to you, because everybody should be allowed to engage in this type of asinine and benign conversation about the things that we love. I'm Jeff. I have to pee and eat a pork chop.
I'm Django. I'm not going to eat a pork chop.
I'm Roman. I'm gonna pee a pork chop and eat something else.
Listen,
that's stupid.
That's
yeah, it was.
Good. I like it.
I like the train.
The dude, his train whistle is so good.